Joseph's journey from prison to palace. What would you do if your life were full of betrayal, false accusations, and years of silence in a prison cell? This is the powerful story of Joseph, the man who went from prisoner to palace. There was a man whose life was filled with dreams. Yet he found himself behind prison walls. Joseph had been betrayed, falsely accused, and forgotten. Yet even in the darkness, God was with him. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him steadfast love. Genesis 39-21. Joseph is helping to prisoners, interpreting dreams one day to fellow prisoners. The Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker each had a troubling dream. Joseph, calm and confident, said, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell them to me." Genesis 40:8. He spoke truthfully, and his words came to pass. But even then, he was forgotten once more. Joseph, alone in his cell, waiting, praying. Years passed to full years passed. No recognition, no reward, no release, only silence. Yet Joseph waited because he trusted the one who had given him the dream. Pharaoh's court, chaos. Pharaoh can't sleep then. Pharaoh himself had a disturbing dream. None could interpret it. That's when the cupbearer remembered Joseph. He was summoned from the dungeon and brought before the king. Joseph, standing before Pharaoh with confidence and humility, Joseph stood tall not as a prisoner, but as a man of God. He said, "It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer." Genesis 41-16. And he interpreted the dream's 7 years of plenty, then 7 years of famine. He gave Pharaoh wisdom and a plan to save the nation. The Pharaoh placed a royal robe and ring on Joseph. Pharaoh turned to his servants and declared, "Can we find a man like this, in whom is the Spirit of God?" Genesis 41-38. He placed Joseph second in command from prisoner to prime minister in a single day. Joseph riding in the chariot, people bowing before him. The boy who was once in chains now rode in a royal chariot. He was not just restored, he was exalted. Because when God writes your story, no prison can stop your purpose. If you've been waiting, in the dark, forgotten, remember Joseph. What you meant for evil, God meant for good. Genesis 50-20. Your palace may be closer than you think.
Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, God is not done writing your story.